This is a cycling head unit from a Chinese brand called Coospo. And well, what they're trying to offer is a lot of head unit for not a lot of price. As you've known in recent histories, the brands and products from China that are coming out at the moment are really, really good. So is this one good as well? And would I recommend buying it? Right before I get into the video, this was sent to me for free by Coospo themselves. I do have a discount code, which is currently on screen now, but watch to the end of the video if this is going to be for you. But it's not an affiliate code, it's just my opinion, and I've got lots to say about it, good and bad. So let's get into it. Since this is priced more at the lower end of the market, let's just talk about what you might use this head unit for. Realistically, it's for displaying data whilst you're cycling and recording it so you can upload it to all of your apps like Strava later on. You can connect it to everything like your heart rate monitors, your speed sensors, your power sensors if you have one of those. And finally, if you need to follow a map to follow your route or find new routes, then this is going to be useful for literally navigating. So you'll see lots of data fields on there. To use this thing, you're going to need a Garmin head unit. So that's where the two holes are vertical. You put it in sideways, twist it on, and you're ready to go. As simple as that. It's nice and sturdy, fits well. And what I'm going to do right now is put on the screen some arrows that are going to show exactly which button does what. But on the plus side, this has touchscreen as well. So you don't need to use the buttons, but you can use them if you want to. You'll notice that when the bike is going over rough roads, the touch is harder to use, so actually it's quite nice to have buttons to press on there. I'm going to start this video off, or the review section off, by talking about what this head unit does really well, and then in the second section I'm going to talk about some things that it doesn't do so well. So let's get started on that. First of all is the price. This comes in at £101, and usually people coming into cycling, well, you're going to be looking for the cheaper products. And you compare this to like a similar Garmin or Wahoo, it's going to be at least £240, so it's less than half the price than the smaller units that they offer. The next good thing is that this is a color head unit, so this is their latest model. They've just released color on there, and the reason why it's good to have color on there, not necessarily when you're on the data screens, but when you are on the map screen, this is where it really helps. Usually having your line or your route of where to go on the map that is in color generally makes it much easier to see where you're going. So color for this price, good thing. Next thing is the signal. This thing picks up signal immediately. The second you step outside, it's picked up the satellites, it knows where you are and ready to go. Even under the trees, it does fairly well at tracking your speed as well. I would say on par with Garmin and Wahoo, to be honest. Obviously for best results, pair it with a speed sensor, but definitely not necessary for everyday riding. Next thing I like is the size and weight. This thing's actually very light, nice and small. Even though it is quite small, the screen is still more than big enough to see any bit of data that you really need to. And the screen is still big enough to follow the maps really well as well. Very good battery life on it. So it has a claimed 36 hours of battery life. That is decent. That's obviously in best conditions that they probably market it at. I'd say at the moment, I tried to run it down in one go. I got about 30 hours in total over the last few weeks, but that is still plenty of battery life. And not only that, it charges up really quickly again, charges back up to full in practically about 2 hours. And even if you just chuck it on for 30 minutes whilst you're getting your cycling kit on and pumping up your tires and things like that, there's a lot of faff you do before cycling. You will have enough charge for that ride, even if the battery starts as low. I've mentioned it before, but it is touchscreen plus buttons. Generally, touchscreen's nice when you're trying to do like intricate little details, and then the buttons are really good when you're actually out on the road and you just want to guarantee that you want to get to the next page or definitely start or stop your ride. And actually, I would say the touchscreen is actually a lot more reactive than a lot of the older Garmin head units, which is really nice. Flicks screens really easily, pretty smooth, and responds to your fingers really well. Now, obviously, you're going to want to get the data off this, or maybe put routes and GPX files onto this. A GPX file is basically just adding your route to a map so you can follow a route in the briefest of terms. The app's really easy to use. I found it very intuitive. All I had to do was search for the device, it connected up straight away, and it takes 10 to 30 seconds to sync everything, which isn't the fastest in the world, but it's plenty quick enough. Then when you go from app to app connection, so for example, you want to upload your rides to Strava, this does it automatically. All you have to go is into the Me section, connect to Strava, activate it, and then all of your rides are automatically uploaded onto there, which is a really good thing. Basically, you just want it to be automatic. You don't want to think about it, and it's done. And this does that. It is IPX7 waterproof, so no matter how much you sweat in it, or no matter how much it rains, this thing should be just fine. Obviously, if it doesn't, contact Coospo, but should be pretty confident that that won't happen. And finally, you can connect it to your indoor trainers. You just have to put it into indoor mode, which I'm showing on screen now. Tiny bit of a faff, but an easy enough job to do once you know how to do it. And yeah, you can pair it up with your indoor trainer. So earlier in the introduction, I mentioned that not everything is perfect on this thing. Now, all the things that I have to talk about here, they are fairly nitpicky. They're not like big turn-off features like, oh, don't buy it because of this. They're just like small things that I would like to see improved in the future. And finally, the good news about these nitpicky bits is that it's all software related, so it's all fixable in the future. So first of all, a few things on the navigation. First of all, when you're on the navigation screen and a turn comes up, it starts to flash up, it flashes up on the screen and kind of takes away a lot of the map basically, especially when you're on a climb, which you'll be able to see now in the photo. Basically, I would just like to be able to see the map a little bit more whilst there is a turn coming up and you're on a climb. That's all. Next up, I would like a distance to next turn, because sometimes I don't always like to be on the map. I like to be on my other screens, looking at my data, my power, my heart rate, my speed, stuff like that. And it would just be nice for it to say, next turn, 7 kilometers time. Great, I can go off the map screen and just look at my data for a long period of time. Whereas really that junction turning comes up and with about 500 meters to go, and you only know that the turn's coming up in about 500 meters, so I never know when to flick off the screen or not. Now obviously when you are on a data screen, it will still come up and say you're turning left in 500 meters, so if you're not on the map screen, you can still get around just fine. The next thing, another navigation thing, when you click navigation on this thing, you choose a course, and you click on your GPX file there. Once you hit navigation, it will navigate you to the start of the course, but when you get to the start of the course, for some reason it resets and you have to choose to navigate that again, which means you have to back out onto the home screen. And when you back out onto the home screen, it stops the current ride that you're on. Then you click navigation, it starts a new one. I don't know why. Just have an option when I click navigate to start, and then when I'm at the start, just start the route that I'm on. It's a bit of a weird one. It's a bit of a weird one, so sometimes you end up with like 3 or 4 different courses that you've done that day, just because it auto finishes the route for you for some reason. Choose navigate to start, and then automatically start the route when I'm there. The next thing, it does have auto start and auto pause, so if you come to a stop, it will pause. The annoying thing though is that you can't choose what speed it pauses at. Generally, I have it set to about 5 kilometers an hour. You know, you're just pulling up to a junction, sometimes the car's moving very slowly and you're just slowly creeping behind that car. It doesn't pause this, so it kind of hammers your average speed even though you're waiting at a junction with the car. It will only stop when you have fully stopped and you can't choose a specific speed. Like I said, that could be updated in the future though. Now, obviously a lot of these can be down to me maybe not knowing the system well enough. The more I learn, the more I might be able to fix some of these problems, but that's what I've found so far. So can I recommend this to beginner cyclists? And the answer for me is yeah, actually I can. I think you're getting a lot of head unit and a lot of functions for a very good price. It feels robust, it feels reliable, it seems to work really well. Obviously, it's still pretty damn new for me, but I have had other Coospo products in the past. I use their electric mini pumps and stuff like that, and they have lasted me a long time. And they still seem to be holding on really well, so I expect the same thing from this product here as well. I also think the user face is very interactive, very easy to get along with personally. I'm just putting random numbers here, but unless you're like over 65, most people can get along with any technology nowadays and understand most things and edit most things pretty easily, and this is another one of those. I'm not going to go into all those millions of things that you can do because this video will be forever long. Now, obviously, you could go for like a second-hand Garmin or Wahoo, but then you run the risk of the battery not being as well, or it might be quite bruised and battered up. This, you're getting a brand new head unit with a good battery that is very functional with color for a very, very good price. So yeah, it's got the thumbs up from me. If you're getting into cycling and you're looking for a head unit, I can recommend this. Guys, obviously I can't go over everything in this video, so if you have any specific questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below. I reply to most things, or you can message me privately on Instagram over here. I reply to most things there as well. Other than that, I've been Jason, this has been Cycling Unboxed. I'll see you in another video.